Hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie Haney. Thanks for being here with us today. We are at the Forbes Under 30 Summit at the Cleveland Public Auditorium here with Rainn Wilson. Rainn, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Hello, Cleveland.
We do appreciate you having here. Is this your first time in Cleveland?
It's not. As a matter of fact, I shot a movie called The Rocker a long time ago now, like 12 or 13 years ago. And we shot part of it in Cleveland, and it was set in Cleveland. And my loser character, Fish, got to drag as his suitcase because he was kicked out of his house in front of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I love that shot. It's iconic.
That sounds fantastic. I'm going to have to look that one up. I was aware you were in The Rocker. Didn't know the storyline that it was set here in Cleveland. So welcome back. We appreciate you having you. You doing anything fun while you're here in town?
I'm in and out by I'm spending like 18 hours total in Cleveland. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to see it, but I do love the city. It's so great on the lake. There's so many cool neighborhoods and shopping districts, and Cleveland gets a bad rap, but it's got a lot of great culture, and I love the people.
Well, we absolutely love having you here. Excited to have you here for this event. You're here to talk about your new book. It's Soul Boom, Why We Need a Spiritual Revolution. Tell us about your book and what inspired you to write it.
So I have this kind of secret other life. I kind of have a secret inner Oprah going on besides playing Dwight. And so I wrote a book about spirituality. This is my third book, actually. And I really believe that spiritual ideas, big, deep, rich, gooey, difficult spiritual ideas like God and death and the meaning of life and the soul, are really important for young people in terms of mental health. And also really important for our society that's kind of falling apart and fraying and becoming more and more disunited. So we need to look to spiritual solutions, not just political and legislative ones.
That is a big topic of conversation for people today, the need for mental health, especially young people. Important to have those big conversations. When we're talking about young people and sort of the need for fostering community and that spirituality, do you have any quick tips you can give us or any suggestions for people who are looking for that kind of connection?
Great question, and it's something I've been thinking about a lot. I talk about it a little bit in my book, and I want to expand on it in future work. But one of the things that all of the great religions and spiritual practices talk about is suffering and setbacks and difficulties. And by understanding the nature and purpose of suffering and the fact that suffering is kind of hardwired into our brains, into our bodies, into our mortality, if you have a deeper kind of sense of that on a wisdom scale, that can help one build resilience. And resilience is the number one thing that young people really struggle with these days around mental health. Because if you have resilience, you can overcome bouts of depression, you can overcome bouts of anxiety, even suicidal ideation, with an understanding that suffering is a part of what it means to be a human being, and it's okay. And in the embrace of suffering, you transform it into joy.
It's a really big, important topic, and it's great that you're doing those things and having these conversations. And when it comes to connecting, I think connection is also something that young people struggle with. You've connected with a lot of people, whether that was your character as Dwight, with Soul Pancake, now with this third book of yours coming out. Do you have any suggestions for young people who are maybe struggling to make personal connections in a world where we are so dependent on technology?
That's such a great question, and you're very astute. You really know your stuff, and you're 100% right. Social media, phones, materialism, our whole modern culture, especially over the last 15 years or so, is wired to disconnect us. So whatever one can do to find your group. One of the things I talk about with my son, and I encouraged him to do a lot, was follow in my footsteps and play Dungeons and Dragons. Because what we need is we need to put our phones away, and we need to kind of sit down in a group around a table, look in each other's eyes, and interact. And that can be having a drink, that can be having a barbecue, it can be playing softball or sports, or something as nerdy as Dungeons and Dragons. But there's a lot of parallel play going on in today's young people, where you go to a party and you see everyone looking at their phones. So whatever we can do to foster community. And then the next level is really to take that community and let the community seek to do some kind of service or some kind of greater good. So can that community, maybe it's a fraternity, maybe it's a nerdy LARPing club, whatever it is, to pick up trash, to make a difference. If that community is searching for something transcendent, meaningful, and service-oriented, that's the next level of connection. But you're 100% right.
And for the people who are not aware, LARPing is live action role play.
Oh.
If you are not initiated.
Very good. You've LARPed before.
I am aware. I'm aware of the LARPing community. Yes, I am.
You need to LARP. You need to go LARP.
Listen, sounds like my idea of a great Saturday. I am not joking. Actually, there's a big LARPing medieval kind of community in the Northeast Ohio area. So I may make my way out there. You did mention the spirituality, of course, looking to spirituality to sort of get us fostered in this connection and kind of get past the tough moments that people are having, and how maybe we want to look to that instead of political figures or those kinds of things. But you did tweet throwing your hat and your name in the ring for the Speaker of the House role. I would like to hear your elevator pitch for the Speaker of the House job. Also, maybe the Jets quarterback. I think that would be something we would like to see.
I'm open. You know, as a member of the Baha'i faith, Baha'is don't believe in partisan politics, so we don't run for office. But if someone were to appoint me Speaker of the House, I think I could get everyone talking and high-fiving through LARPing. I would get Congress LARPing in northeastern Ohio. That is my promise to you. I'm not going to campaign. It's not a campaign promise. It's just an idea I'm throwing into the soup, but I hope that they will consider me.
I'm considering it. I think that sounds fantastic. Rainn, thank you so much for your time today. We really love having you here in Cleveland. We appreciate your time.
It's so nice to be here. Great conversation. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, everybody.